Hey everyone, it's Doug, and in today's video I'm going to show you some useful techniques being able to access the high range and power of more unconventional vocalists in this scene. So Gerard, Burt McCracken, they use My Chemical Romance, and then other bands that were influenced by them, so bands such as Crown the Empire. They use more of a, I'm going to say extreme vocal style, but what I mean by that is it's just quite unconventional, you know, very stylistic, like a lot of pauses and stuff like that, which I actually do incorporate a lot of that sort of sound in my music. I'll show you techniques that I've learned recently on how to get that to work really smoothly. Let's do it. When you go, would you even turn to say I don't love you like I did yesterday? So as some of you may know, I actually finished my EP up about 4 weeks ago now. And I'm actually in the period of time where I'm actually between releasing it and preparing for live shows and stuff like that, because this is a brand new band. I've never actually sang as a vocalist live before. I've always been a bass player or a guitarist. And it's a new challenge for me. What I've been learning to do is sing full songs, full sets, without, you know, increasing tension and blowing up my voice by the third song. So what it actually led me to learn is that the style of singing like this and actually, you know, staccatoing every note like that, all these things that add so much tension, you need to have the bass line of the melody, B-A-S-E-L-I-N-E, bass line of the melody, down solid without tension. So for example, when you go has to be completely free, like when you go. It can't be when you go to belt out that A4, because actually what happens is if you get up to the note and you've got that tension, that's when you start pushing on your voice, like when you go. So now I'm going to show you what it sounds like when a singer puts way too much tension on a note when singing live. And this actually blocks out the high notes, it blocks out your ability to add style well, and ultimately will just break down your voice. So here's an exaggerated one. When you go. Or when a singer goes, when. See, like that? I just purposely push on it. When. Like that. All these things break down your voice. What you need to learn to do is get it almost on like this operatic tone where it's just floating. When you go. And have your whole voice sit there. That allows you to get up here. When you go. And it also allows you to add any style you want on top of it, because you've got the bass line of the melody to be really, really free. So when you go. See how I'm just adding ridiculous like little trills and stuff? It's because it's so easy, because there's no tension. So the rest of this lesson now is actually going to be me explaining how to get your voice into this spot, like whoa, 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 this operatic tone, which I've actually done in videos before, but this video is actually going to focus on getting full phrases there so that you can practice them, and then you can take them up into a higher pitch and actually be able to sing your highest notes belted and free, and then add all the style you want on top of it. Alright, so the exercise that I actually want to share with you is going to be a 4-note arpeggio with a whoa, 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 whoa. I know it might sound kind of strange, but the actual point of it is to just get a really nice and loose voice and no tension, as I described earlier. So I'll start here. Whoa, 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 whoa. And now some key things to note is the fact that you're not sitting on your throat like this. Whoa, 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 whoa. It's actually got to float. I kind of imagine it above my throat like this. Whoa, 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 whoa. And I'll make one more pointer. On the highest note, I actually want your jaw to open downwards like this. Whoa, 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 whoa. One thing you'll notice is that actually when you get to the highest note, it will start to vibrato. So, whoa, 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 whoa. Kind of like an opera singer.
Our beautiful lead singer Vic warming up his throat muscles. We have all our beds in the back here.
So when I first heard Vic doing this sound, I was actually a bit confused. Like, I didn't really understand what he was doing. But as I learned more about the voice, I realized he's actually just trying to free it up and actually get more depth in the sound. If you notice, he actually sounds much different now with the years of vocal training than he did, say, when he was 20 in his old band before today. Anyway, I'll take you up the scale a few more times, so go to the next note. Whoa, 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 whoa. Remember what I said? Open up on the last one and don't sing in your throat. Whoa, 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 whoa. No tension. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Last note. Whoa, 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 whoa. So now what we're actually going to do is apply this exercise to a melody, and we're going to use the same melody that I sang before, I Don't Love You, and I'll show you how we apply it to the octave below what we want to sing. So I'll take it here. Now I'll go. When you go, would you even turn to say? And you need to make sure that even the octave below is floating. So if you notice, when you go, if you go to sing the phrase that you want to sing an octave below and it comes out, when you go, you're going to have a lot more trouble when you go an octave higher. Alright, so the next step in getting this phrase is actually going to be taking it to, I'm going to take it to the note F. So that's quite a bit higher. When you go, would you even turn to say, I don't love you, etc. And now, if you're struggling with getting that to not be tense, like, when you go, I would like you to replace that with the whoa sound that we did before. So it'd be like this. Whoa, 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 whoa. I know that sounds kind of weird, but it's what we've got to do. So now we're going to go all the way to the top, which was the octave above what we started on. We're going to still do this low operatic sound and make sure there's no tension, because when we try to add the style, we're going to have no tension to begin with, or else, again, like I demonstrated earlier, we're just going to get cut off in the throat. So, when you go, would you even turn to say? And again, you can replace that with whoa, 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 whoa. Cool. And now, finally, what that actually allows us to do is just belt it out. When you go, would you even turn to say, I don't love you like I did yesterday? So when you apply this exercise to your voice, whether it be a melody that you want to sing or trying to sing, you're going to slowly realize that you've got a lot of tension on your throat, most likely, and that you need to alleviate that so that you can actually finally add the style that you want and get the sound you want. So for example, maybe a singer like Gerard isn't conscious of this, but it's still really cool to know how to get there, because when we're singing in the high range, it might sound strange, and something that I've really realized in the past maybe only a few months, to be honest, is that these singers, the ones that we look up to, they're not belting these super high notes and almost like dying when they're doing it. It's actually not too much harder, or it doesn't even require too much more effort than their lower notes. And the reason is because they've actually got so little tension when they're up there, and you need to have little amounts of tension or else it just won't work. So as you're getting used to this exercise, I want you to put style as a secondary component. I want you to focus on getting rid of that tension, and then you kind of put the style on as like an overlay. And the strange thing is that you'll realize, oh, alright, Gerard Way isn't really struggling like this when he's trying to sing these notes. And the reason is because he's free, he's got tension. I mean, the way he performs live, how could you run around the stage and be able to sing and belt these notes unless it was coming out kind of freely? So when you do this exercise and apply it to whatever song you want to sing, you know, any melody that you're struggling with, I want you to like have complete faith that what I'm showing you is going to work. And the reason I say this is because for me, when I first started learning this, I was like truly worried about, you know, my teacher wanting me to become like an opera singer and not use my style, but it's the complete opposite of that. I'll even show you this audio clip of Paddy Walters from As It Is saying how he got lessons before he recorded his first album, and the vocal tutor actually knew that he needed to use his aggressive style.
Ben and I went and got 6 singing lessons before we entered the studio, and that was integral. It was so necessary.
You got singing lessons?
Yeah. Yeah.
In Florida?
Oh, no, this was before we left. Before we left.
Okay.
In the UK with a woman named Stevie Van Lang, who's incredible. If there's a band called Marmoset's, the singer of Marmoset's, Becca, she's been trained by her as well. And she was great, but she understands that we need to be aggressive in our music, and she just teaches us how to do it safely. She's not like, you know, abandon the gritty and the screaming stuff.
So she teaches things like warm-ups,
yes,
and breathing and things like that.
Yeah, and how to you know, sing certain melodies so that they sound the best and they're easier on our voice, because a lot of them are very high up, like the top of my range.
It made me really happy when I heard Paddy Walters talking about this, and the reason was because a lot of singers seem to believe that when you sing aggressive styles, if you got vocal lessons, it would actually ruin the style. They would want you to sing like an opera singer, but that's nothing like what we're doing here. What I want you to do is get the melodies just so pure and simple, without any stylistic features on top of it. Just keep hammering it. Just get rid of all the tensions and then apply it as a secondary layer, and you'll see how much easier it is to make your staccato sounds and your breathy tones and just whatever you want to do. Even shouting. All that stuff, you just got to alleviate all that tension. I'm really happy to be teaching this technique to the world because it's something that's really been transforming my voice personally. And I've just been hammering it like every single day. Almost every single day of my singing practice now is just getting rid of tension, getting rid of tension, getting rid of tension. And the reason is because I've got to learn to sing live. That's all for today. I hope you practice hard, and I'll see you in the next video.